All right, part 3, final exam prep. So here's what we've gone over so far. You're getting crappy thesis statements. You're fixing these because you have memorized the fallacies and you know what bad thesis statements look like. And then you're making claims that have none of the violations in the bad parts and are not fallacies. And you're making these up based on the restrictions in the thesis statement you revised. You can do it. You can do it. Also, read the study guide, right? This video should not be standalone learning. You should not rely on my face alone to know your stuff. You should also read the study guide. I go over this step by step in the study guide itself. So I made the PowerPoint bigger here, and the problem with this is my face is in the way. So let's just look at the first, and you should pause this and read this. It's also basically your study guide as well. So if you read that, you're good too. But these are the instructions of what I just said in more detail. All right, so you can pause that and read that. I'm going to move my face over here so you can then pause that and read this. Now, the one that is different between the last one, between making a thesis and then making a claim, is you must choose the best ideas to focus on in your claims that prove your thesis true. Remember back when we originally made claims for your thesis statements and you had to list like 20 different reasons why your thesis, sub-arguments, why your thesis might be true, and then pick like the best 2 or 3 based on that big list? That's the same thing you're going to do here when making claims. So you just want to make a big list of guesses. A thesis statement is just a guess stated as the answer. Guesses. You're going to make a big list of all the reasons it might be true and just pick like 1 or 2 of the best ones from that list, the most proofy ones, the most relevant ones of why that would prove it true. So you have to choose that. This is high level stuff here. It's really taking most of what we learned this semester, critical thinking, logic, structural wise, the bones of your paper, and making and asking you to do it in one sitting in a final exam. You're only doing this with 10 statements. That's it. You only have to revise 10 statements and make claims for each of those 10 statements. That's it. Pretty straightforward. In addition to that, you can choose to make between 2 or 3 claims. I will take the best 2. So if you take a stab at doing 3 for each of the statements, I will take the best 2. So that's really big bonus for you. Hi, doggy. All right. So you don't have to know anything prior. Again, going to this final exam, you don't have to research like, any like topic like world news type stuff. Even though the stuff I'll ask you, the statements that are poorly done are like world newsy type stuff about elections and this and that. It doesn't have to mean you have any prior knowledge. You just have to know the principles of what we discussed. How will you be graded? This is what everyone wants to know. How will I be graded? If you do a good job at altering the thesis statement, you fix it, you revise it, you find the things that are wrong with it, and you make it better, you're going to get 0.4 points. And then for every single claim that you did right, you're going to get 0.3 points. So if you do a claim right, you get all 0.3. If you do something wrong in the claim, you don't get anything for that. And then if you do your second claim right, you also get 0.3 points. So every single question is worth 1 point. And you get 10 total questions. And so you have to revise the thesis and make 2 claims based on your revised thesis. You do everything stellar, you get a point. Simple as that. So that's how you're going to be graded. Let's go over an example. So we've been using this example on some of our assignment sheets throughout the semester. You just see my eyes here. Just my eyes. And we've been using this year-round schooling example. So the original thesis is year-round schooling is good. So based on what you just learned, what is wrong with that? It's a matter of preference. Is good. What does that mean, is good? It is good. I'm not going to tell you why it's good, or it's good. Okay, do you mean it's beneficial to people? Yes. So year-round schooling has positive effects on a school system. There we go. That fixed it. because as stated, like anytime you see good or bad, it means it's a matter of personal taste. That word implies preference. So this revised working thesis statement is way more clear. The basis of classification then. So basically the hockey rink. What did you say you were going to talk about? So basically, you said you're going to talk about year-round schooling, and you said you're going to talk about positive effects. That's it. You can't really talk about anything other than year-round schooling and it rocking the world, right? So your first claim could be something like, one positive effect of year-round schooling is improved grades. People get better grades when they do year-round schooling. Now, even if this is wrong, if you just guess at the reason your revised thesis might be true, you're still gonna, it doesn't have to actually be right. Like, let's say people who go to year-round schooling get poorer grades. I don't care. I care that you made a solid claim that doesn't violate any of the rules we talked about. That's all I'm looking for here. The whole point on actually doing research itself is to find out if your claim is right or wrong. You wouldn't know that from just making a thesis and claims. The point on making a thesis and claim is to just guess. Like, you're guessing. You don't know if you're right. You're guessing, and you're doing research to figure out if you were right or wrong, and then changing your thesis and or claims based on that research. That's what researchers do. That's the entire point of it. So for this final exam, I'm not expecting you to know the answer to why your revised thesis statement is true. All I expect is that you make a guess that doesn't violate any of the rules and isn't a fallacy. That's it. Okay, so let's look at some real examples in the next video of what actual students have submitted to me in the past, and then some maybe revisions of that. We're going to talk about actual thesis statements so you can help see in a clearer way what I'm looking for when you do your final exam. So these sample ones, I don't know why I kept just my eyeballs. There we go. So these sample ones are a bit harder. Your final exam is going to be incredibly straightforward, incredibly what I think might be straightforward. It does take study. So these examples are more intricate. They're real world type stuff. We're going to start you out at the hard stuff, and then we're going to go medium.